Okay. Right. Yesterday we have seen, right, few things, but let us recap the yesterday session with, right, quickly only, so that whoever joined newly, they will understand what we have discussed yesterday without any gaps only. So yesterday we have discussed what is data engineering, why it is important. So what are the technologies that we are going to learn on a high level, let's say. So right. So data engineering is a process of work where we collect the data. So let's say I wanted to just a minute. Okay. So collect the data and process the data. Process is nothing but transformations and any other cleaning part, structuring part, everything, and store them, store and right, keep it in data warehouse, I would say, so that data analysts, data scientists, or AI models, business people, whoever will able to consume those things. This is the main thing that we have discussed. So why this is important? So let's say if we have the raw data, okay, raw data, and this data scientist people, data analyst people, AI models are consuming this raw data. Raw data will have so much of missing data, right? Errors, even unstructured. So these are all things would be solved by your data engineer. So if this one role is not there here, so you would see wrong data analytical dashboard, wrong data scientist models, wrong data to the AIs, all right, AI algorithms, everything would be wrong. So what if the data is wrong? Everything is wrong at the end. So your data engineer here, right, would help you to make sure you have the right data in hand and in the proper structure that is needed. So that's the importance of data engineer. He's like a backbone to any company, so that the entire company takes the clean data only, whether it is CEO, CTO, right, whoever consuming the dashboards, consuming the reports and all, they consume it for cleaner data only. They will not consume it from raw data, right? So who would be providing this? Data engineer would be providing the cleaner data for the organization. So if this data engineer role is not there, so you would not have the cleaner data at the end. Okay. So this is important. So otherwise, if there is no cleaner data, all the data that is consuming would be wrong at any chance. So this data engineer plays a crucial role in the process of consuming data. Okay. Now, now let's say what else we have discussed yesterday. So what is big data? So in the data engineering and the modern world that we have, we work with the large amount of data. We'll say, right, petabytes of data or terabytes of data or petabytes of data. So if we are handling large amount of data, we, right, as we are working on the large amount of data, we call it as a big data processing. Right, we have, right, right, the thing that we performed by the data engineer is processing of data, right? As we are working on the big data, we call it as big data processing. As simple as that, right? We work on the, right, this is what we have discussed yesterday. So so we have to, whenever we are working on the big data, you have to remember five things, that is called 5V framework: volume, velocity, variety, right? So value of the data. So there are few things that we have to understand so that we would perform better analysis. So these are the two, right, few things that we have discussed yesterday. And one important thing that we have discussed yesterday is what is Spark, right? In the world, right, in the traditional methods, we have used Hadoop, or even before we have used normal processing where it is slower data processing. Okay, we could write with the Hadoop, we can handle large amount of data. There is no doubt about it. We can handle big data processing, but this is slower, right? By then we hardly need faster data. But in the today's world, you need in milliseconds, right? You need the data processing in milliseconds. So even this is good for big data processing, but not for the faster data processing, right? So that's what we go for Spark. So Spark is a distributed computing engine, so which distributes your data across multiple virtual machines. Okay, virtual machines and process them in parallel. At the same time, they will process the data. So, whereas here we would process one step after the other step, one step after the other step, which is time consumption, where we process the data and we process in memory, where we process in the disk here, right? Disk processing, too many read and write operations. So, our Spark is 10 to 100 times faster than your traditional methods. So, that is what it's leading in the industry, right? You take any data engineering technology like Fabric, Fabric or Databricks or any like Snowflake, anything, Spark is the fundamental. So people, right, please be on mute only. So if you're not asking some questions, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. Otherwise, please be on mute, right? Fabric or any other technology you take it, even in ADF, right, which is just an ETL2 for us, right? Even in ADF, right, we have Spark transformations, right, without any code there. So Spark is that important, right? So it's very, very important for us to know the Spark architecture, how the Spark works in the real time. So Spark for today, right? It's good we know Spark is a distributed computing engine, right? So and Databricks is a platform which utilizes Spark to process your data, and it will provide cluster management. It will provide scheduling of jobs to run the Spark codes, right? This is one unified platform for everybody to write their Spark, right? To do the data engineering, to do the data analytics, to do the data scientist jobs, even to run AML models, right? This is one platform would provide all the facilities to the entire organization, right? One unified platform. And even we have the unity catalog to govern our data, to secure our data, who is accessing, who should be right, who should be given access, who should not be given access. We have unity catalog in Databricks as well. So Databricks is like your managing layer, right? Managing platform. Okay, it's good. And then what is Azure? Right? Azure is the actual resource provider. Let's say you wanted VMs, Azure will provide. You wanted 100 GB storage, Azure will provide. You wanted access connection to Databricks, Azure will provide. So Azure will provide the resources. Your Databricks ADB will utilize manages those. Spark will utilize the Databricks managed resources so that your big data processing is done. This is what we have actually discussed yesterday, right? This is what we have actually discussed yesterday, and I'm going to give you clear understanding about these things today. Okay, with a clear example. Okay. Now, if you come to Azure, right, let us try to understand it from the reverse direction now. So, Azure is a cloud service only, right? Cloud computation platform. Am I right? So, many people know this. So, what does an Azure does? Azure will provide you the cloud infrastructure. Cloud means, right, no need of physically establishing the let's say you wanted 100 GB of storage, like 1000 GB of storage. You don't need to physically establish it. Your cloud providers will provide that you can access the storage using a link, like your how you are accessing your google.com, you can access Azure storage as well with a link, as simple as that. So you don't need to physically buy that, maintain it, have some resource to maintain it. No need to do that. Your providers would do that. In our case it's Azure, right? Right, it will provide storage for big data. So let's say you wanted 100 GB, 1000 GB, 100 GB, right, 1000 GB or 1000 TB, petabytes, anything it will provide at the cheaper cost. So that's the advantage of cloud. So computation power. Let's say you wanted to process your data. You no need to download that to your local systems, and you no need to process in your PCs, because our systems might not hold that much of data. So cloud itself will provide the virtual machines for us to process the data, and whatever computational power is needed, that would provide those things. Security. Let's say, right, all right resources in the Azure would need access management. So if you do not have access to a storage account, you cannot access that. So that level security, role based access management would be there in Azure. So whatever role is assigned to you, if you're assigned to see the data, you will only see the data. Right. If you are assigned to contribute to the data, you will contribute. You will read, write, delete, do something. If you given the admin rights, you will do the admin activities. So it is according to the roles that has been given. So that is called role-based access system. So right, each and every user will be assigned a role. So according to that role, you will get the access and you will have the permission to do the things in the Azure. So that's called security and access control. Okay, so right, our Azure can integrate with any of the analytics platforms like Power BI, Tableau. It can integrate with anything, and enterprise level ecosystem, each and every feature that is needed for you, it would be provided by Azure, right? So this is like an infrastructure. We will move on to the next slide. Databricks is a unified cloud platform. What do I mean by that? So it can take data from any of the sources, right? It can take data from the any of the sources, and it will ingest the data, right? It could be batch ingestion, it could be stream ingestion, it could be CDC. Yes, I know you could have doubts about batch streaming and ingestion. Simple and right. Let's say your data is not continuously flowing. You will get the data today at 6 a.m. and you will get the data at 6 p.m. There is no continuous data. At specific intervals, you will get the data. So that's called batch ingestion. One big chunk of data would be processed every single time. 6 a.m. I'll process 1 GB of data or 10 GB of data, and by end of the day, one more time I will process 1 GB or 2 GB of data. So that's called batch ingestion. In one batch, we'll process large amount of data. So that's one. What is streaming? Let's say you are seeing the live tracking. So that's the streaming data. You're seeing a live match. That's a streaming data. You will get the continuous stream of data, and you will process that and produce to the output. So that's called streaming data. And then what is CDC? Let's say your input data has few changes in the right in the past data as well. So all the changes would be taken care here using our platform. We have different techniques. Now we have DLT pipelines as well, which is most advanced to have change data capture things. Okay. Now we have data engineers who would convert our raw data to silver layer, bronze, right, bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer, and it would be consumed by your BI reportings and everybody. And each one of these things will be governed by your Unity catalog, right? We have Delta Lake format, Parquet format. So there are many open source. We would be using it here for faster processing as well. So we would give it to the people, right, who can query these things, dashboards, and we can do also, right, we can also provide the clean data to AI models, right, AML models and everything. And so this is one platform which does all of those things combinedly, right? And even from the external sources, we can connect with the other reporting activities. Sorry, other reporting activities. Business user can get the data, right? Data sharing with other people, operational databases. Also, we can give external apps. Everything can collaborate with your you Databricks and can get these things. I know this is bit confusing. Don't worry. I will give you the clear example. Right? We'll give you the clear example in next 5 minutes. Right? Let us also understand. Now we have understood about Azure. We have understood about Databricks. Now let us understand about Spark. We are coming in the reverse order now. Yesterday we have discussed about Spark, Databricks, and Azure. Now we will see each one of these things. Right? How this right? As we have already discussed this thing. Right? So I'm covering this bit quicker, but don't worry. In the regular process, let's say you have 100 GB of data. Okay, sorry, 100 GB of data. Okay, 100 GB of data. So in your regular single machine processing, so it has to take the data from disk, right? Do one step after the other. Disk processing would be there, right? Do the one step after the other and sequential, right? And very slow processing. To complete this 1 GB of storage, you might take 1 hour or 2 hour to process for 1 GB. Let us think about the today's world. We would be handling 100 TB, 1 petabyte of data or 100 petabytes of data sometimes. So if you wanted to handle this much of data, this could take days to run this, right? So this is the old approach. So our Spark will divide these things into multiple missions. So since yesterday we have been discussing, so it will process in memory. In memory is nothing but RAM. It will process in the RAM itself, distribute across multiple missions, right? And process in the RAM and parallel execution. It will execute all the missions at the same time. So when there is no task dependency, right? So parallel execution would be done, and this would be much faster than this, 100 times faster than your regular processing. So that's the so with all of these use cases, right? Your big data processing, right? Big data processing has become very much easy. Now, if you wanted to process 100 petabytes of data as well, it has become right easy with Spark to process, Databricks to manage, your Azure to store, right? Physical storage, manage, process. So, right, even if you have some more doubt here, I'm coming with an example. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right? I'm here to help you, not confuse you, right? So, Spark architecture, we would see that in a minute. We'll come back. What are the languages supported by Spark, right? So if you wanted to work with Spark, Spark is very much important only. So remaining everything you right, you can work with interface. Interface that means the same way how you are utilizing your apps, right? Facebook, WhatsApp, how you are just clicking the icons and going there, right? Right, your Azure and Databricks can work with the interface itself, app interface, right? Whereas with the Spark, you have to write the code, right? Write the code, right? Don't worry, not much complex, not much complex, I would say. It's not complex at all. It's very easy. So your Spark, right? As I told you, this is an engine only. Let's say if this is an engine will run on some fuel, right? Which fuel, right? Engine can run on petrol, diesel, right? Gas, electric, right? And now few things has been hybrid as well, right? Which can run on petrol and electric as well. Your Spark is also like that, right? It can run with Scala, right? If you know Scala code, right? This is the native one, okay, native, which has been developed by your Apache users only. So Spark, Scala is the native, but PySpark, This is very, very important. And Spark, important. PySpark is very, very important. 90% of your data engineering jobs need PySpark because PySpark has brought Spark to the Python world, only, right? Right? Python in data science, data science, data analytics, right? Pandas here, data scientist models like even in AI, Python plays a crucial role. So if data engineering also can be brought to Python world, that would be much, much easier. So your PySpark plays that role. PySpark is an Python module which brought our Spark to the Python world. So as remaining all the data related things are there on the Python, so even the data engineering has came to the Python world now. So which is very much compatible with the other things. So we are going to learn PySpark only. So your 90% of organizations will ask for only PySpark. Okay. Spark SQL, it's nothing right difficult as much as your SQL. Or if you know SQL, it's 99% same. Right? Right. If you know Java, you can write in Java. If you know R, you can write it in R. So anything can communicate with Spark. So that means it's like an hybrid engine which can work on petrol, which can work on electricity, right? Right. I would say battery power, anything. So Scala, PySpark, right? It can work with anything. If you know one of these things, that's good. So don't worry, don't worry. We are going to learn these two things, right? PySpark and Spark SQL. Okay. So it's very, very simple and no need to worry. So to communicate with Spark and does our data processing, we'll use PySpark in the real time only. So this is what you have to understand it. So after these things, okay. So let us jump into the before slide, right? What is that Spark architecture? So let us see one quick Spark architecture and we will move on to the right the practical example to explain you Azure, Databricks, PySpark, and I'll show you the real time things how it would be there, right? I can't show you the entire processing, but I can show you the majority of the things, right? So that's what we will target it for today. So in Spark, actually, right, this is the basic one. You're right. In the first class, right? In the first class itself, we would see Spark architecture, right? Architecture, you will get to know each and everything. What is master node, what is worker node. As I told you, right, one node is right, we will have multiple virtual machines, right? This is what you have to remember, right? One mission is like one node for us, and one mission is like one node. So to manage our work, to manage our work, right, few missions work as in worker nodes who does the actual data processing. Okay, actual data processing. One node will work as manager who should be which worker node should be working on what process of data, right? So this is what master and slave architecture. So don't worry, we are going to see that in our first Spark class. Spark architecture in detail. In detail, each and every level would be given. So you have cluster manager, nothing but right. Cluster manager which manages your cluster. Cluster is means the group of virtual machines. Right. Let's say you have four virtual machines. That entire four virtual machines is called as cluster. In that one virtual machine works as master node. Okay. Remaining will work as worker nodes, right? Worker nodes which does the actual work. So this manages the work. So which node should be processing what kind of data. Okay. So this is a basic architecture and we call it as a master slave architecture. Okay. Master slave architecture. So nothing but this is the master slave, which one node would be a master and remaining would be slaves, right? Slaves is nothing but the workers. So you will get to know in detail depth of Spark architecture. So this is too early for us to know because we have very less time in the demo. So we can't cover that. So in our first Spark class, right? In our first Spark class, you will get to know Spark architecture, end-to-end Spark architecture, including wide, narrow transformations, data shuffling, each and everything you will get to know. Okay. Now, let us understand completely, Andy. Right. Let us understand completely Azure Databricks Spark PySpark now. Right. We have discussed about four different terminologies: Azure, Databricks, Spark, PySpark. We have discussed about these things so far. So let us understand with a pure example. Let us say your Spark is an engine, which might right you might not see it in the physical way. Like you see your Databricks, you see your Fabric, you might not see your engine, right? Let's say you have a car. Will you see your engine regularly? No, right? So your spark will be inside, right? Which is a powerful engine. So your engine is decided to run, right? Designed to run 200 or 300 kilometer per hour. So that's kind of powerful engine our spark is. So to run the spark or to run your engine, you have to put in some fuel, right? Right, like petrol, diesel, any fuel. So we will put in PySpark as a fuel. So we will write the codes in Spark so that our engine will run. Good. So Spark is an engine, whereas PySpark is a code. So to work with engine, you have to write the code in PySpark. As simple as that. And so now your engine is running right with the better fuel, right? Your engine is running 200 kilometer per hour. Okay. Now if we say if you put this engine in a car, let's say you have kept this in Maruti 800. Maruti 800. Will this right? Will Maruti 800 can hold the power of 200 kilometers per hour? No, right? You have to keep this engine faster cars like Bugatti, right? Lamborghini, those kind of things. So your Databricks is that kind of car, right? Which provides notebook for you. Notebook to write your Spark code. Cluster management to manage your clusters, right? Workflows, job schedulings, right? Interface, Unity catalog to maintain who can access what notebooks, what clusters and all. So it's like your car which provides steering, seats, the entire tires to run on the roads. Okay, that's all good. Let's say now you have a good car, good engine, good fuel, you have full of full tank of petrol. Now you wanted to run on the road. Now you don't have the road, or else you are running on a God road. Can your car go 200 kilometer per hour? No, we cannot. So your Azure is like an engine, right? Like your tires, road, right? Infrastructure which facilitate to car to run. Let us say you need 100 GB. Your Databricks can manage storage, but your Azure will provide the storage, right? Your right. It said cluster management. Like Databricks manages cluster. Let's say what is cluster? You have four virtual machines. Okay. It says four virtual machines with 32 GB of RAM, 64 GB of or 128 GB of SSD. So all of these things will be provided by your Azure, right? All of these things are will be provided by your Azure. Okay. So these are the major things that we wanted to understand. Okay. So now, right. Hope you understood this one, right? Whereas Azure will provide all the required resources for you, Databricks manages those resources to run the show. Spark is the real engine in the background. Hope this is clear for you, right? With this example, I guess so, right? So let us now, any questions, Andy? Sorry. So yesterday also we have seen this. Let us try to understand what are the required skills for you. right? What are the required skills for you? And then we'll go for the real-time example, right? With the real-time example, and we will see that. Okay. These are the three things we will cover in the live classes. With the 45 days to 50 days classes would be there. We will cover Azure, Spark, Databricks, end to end. Okay. Spark for Azure for data engineering. Okay. Spark, Databricks. So these are the end to end that we are going to in the live classes. So what are the prerequisites? So if there is any new people, so they will get to know if they have missed this yesterday. Okay. So these are the two prerequisites that you needed to start the course. Okay. Or else, right? Let us say you don't know Python or SQL yet. So don't worry. We are providing these two things as a complementary. Once you complete your, right, your registrations and payments, right, your registrations and payments, our admin team will provide you the access for SQL recordings, Python recordings, which would be 10 hours each, 10 hours for SQL, 10 hours for Python. So you could cover these things in 2 to 3 weekends. Okay, 2 to 3 weekends you can cover this. We will provide this as a complimentary. Once your payments are clear and everything is done, we would provide these things. And these things are covered and end to end here. End to end. So, and after this also we will provide two projects, right? We will cover two projects. One with batch ingestion, let us say batch ingestion. Okay, one with the streaming ingestion, right? You have to understand the both the ways, right? Streaming ingestion. So these are the two things that you have to understand. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to cover, and what I expect from you, what you can expect from me, right? So 1 hour class would be there every single day. Okay, Monday to Friday. It's simple only. Monday to Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, it's purely for practice purpose. It's not like you don't have classes and all. Right. You have to keep practicing the entire 1 week classes here. So then only you will remember the things. Otherwise, you will forget what I have covered in the first day. So let us say 1 hour class, right? 1 hour practice every day. This is what I expect from you. Practice every day. Okay. So, and in the weekends, you have to cover the entire week as well. Entire week to, right, 5 classes. You have to cover all the 5 classes in the weekend as a one entire practice sessions. Okay. So here we would see each and everything as bits and pieces. Okay. And you have to cover, right. You have to consolidate the entire use case and you have to perform as one practice session. Okay, so that's what, then only you will remember this. So every single day, let's say you have a question yesterday, right, or you have a, right, we will have Q&A session for 10 minutes every day, right? So you can ask the questions in the same day, or else you have done some practice, you got this, you got some questions, you can write down those questions and bring it to the tomorrow's class. Immediately we will clear those in the tomorrow's class, so that your questions will not be held for longer time, right? So these are the few things that we are going to tell you, and there are much more things. All right, you can expect from us. Right, we would also, right, as an institute, we would provide resume preparation help. We would provide interview questions and answers. Right, we would provide the
Tocco
material.
card.
We would provide each and everything.
Card.
So these are the few things that you can expect, and right, if there is any personal request, we would take those things as well. So these are the important things that you have to note. Only. So before we move into the further right, before we jump into the real-time example, I request everyone to share your details in the chat window. Right, if you shared yesterday, it's good. If you haven't shared your details yesterday, I would request you to share it today, because right, we have done the yesterday session, right, almost 1 hour. So I have just recapped the session in 10 minutes. So if you, right, you could see the entire 1 hour session recordings of yesterday's, and you can take the today's session. Maybe you might join bit late. You can take the today's session recording as well. So we will provide those things if you could share your details in the chat window. Your name, phone number, email address, right? Your name, phone number, email address in the chat window so that it would be easy for us to share the details, share the demo material as well. Not only recordings, we will provide the demo material as well, right? These PPTs and PDFs, whatever it's there, we will provide those things as well. Okay, so I request everybody to share your details in the chat window, your name, phone number, email address, right? Your name, phone number, email address. These are the few things that we request. And right, we will give 2 minutes to share your details in the chat window, and we will jump into the real-time example. Right, I'll show you the interface of Azure. We'll show you the interface of Databricks, how the job look like, how the notebook look like. Right, each and everything we can discuss on. So take a minute or two to share your details, your name, phone number, and email address in the chat window, and then we can quickly jump onto the real-time example. I could see only one person has shared your details. I would request remaining people to share your details as well. All right, let me share my screen. Just a moment. Let me stop sharing and share it again. Okay, sorry. So people haven't shared your details, please share your details in the chat window. So that's very, very important to get the recordings and any other things. I could see many new people today. Please share your details in the chat window now. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I could see one after the other sharing your details. Please share in the meantime. So that would be really helpful for you. So without any further delay, let us jump into the topic only. So this is the Azure window only, right? This is the Azure window. From here, we would go through the many things. Let us say, right? See, this is a free account, right? This is asking you upgrade, and this is a free account. This expires on 12th July, and we have still 15,000 credits. So every person can have a free account, right? Can have a free account and can get 20,000 rupees, which you can utilize within a month of creation of this, and you can utilize many resources free for 12 months here in the Azure account. So don't worry, we will let you know how to create this free Azure account with 20,000 free credits. Okay, with 20,000 free credits. So that is what we would be showing. And then you could see there are many resources and resource groups. So what is resource group? It's like just a folder only. Don't worry, with the Azure class you will understand what is resource group, what are resources under. For now, resource group is just like your folder, right? You where you will keep your files under. See, let's say I have this resource group. Okay, I have one resource called Azure Databricks. Okay, Azure Databricks. If I open it from here, so your Azure will provide Databricks as well as a service, right? We are utilizing that one. Okay, that is called Azure Databricks. We utilize Databricks from Azure, so that's what we call it as Azure Databricks. Okay, and see from here. So not only this, only the Azure, it will provide many other resources like storage account to store your data, databases, SQL databases, Databricks accounts, right? Keywords, access management. There are many things that you wanted to understand from Azure as well. We will cover each one of that. And don't worry, we will create free account for everyone, right? We will create free account for everyone. We will let you know how to do that. So once, all right, once we are done with Azure, we will come to Databricks. See, this is the Databricks workspace. So where you could see, right, jobs and pipelines. Here we create, right, pipelines which will run at a specific time every single day. So if you could see, these are the notebooks. Let us, I'll open one notebook where you will write code. Just a minute. Right, we have also DLT pipeline notebook. So there are many notebooks here. You could see that. So we have notebooks which can write codes. Okay. So which has text and codes as well. See, we have coding. We will write Spark codes. We will see, and we have 10 sessions, more than 10 sessions, and only on Spark, PySpark, to tell you how to write these codes, how to utilize Spark, and how to utilize notebooks. Right, each and everything we will cover, and you could see, right, we have many things here. So we will cover Azure. From there, we will cover notebooks, catalogs, compute. Compute is nothing but your cluster where you will create your cluster here, right? Where you will create your cluster, right? We will see, right? See, here is a place where we create clusters. We would see, right? 32 GB, 16 GB memories depending upon. Right, single node, right? You can say how many number of workers needed. So we cover each one of these things and how to create compute, how to create notebook, how to utilize Unity catalog, and medallion architecture, which is very, very, very important. Without medallion architecture, you will not going to create a single project in your real time. Medallion architecture is nothing but, all right, maintaining gold, right, bronze, silver, gold layers only. So you could see that we are also covering. So see, bronze layer, gold, silver layer, gold layer, we also cover that, right? Medallion architecture here. How to do that? We will cover DLT pipelines, delta lakes. Each and every topic is clear. So this is the Unity catalog where you will maintain your metadata and, right, database structuring, structured data. Right, we will cover volumes, we will cover majority of the things here, and then you could see SQL editor, Genie spaces, dashboards. This is nothing but for data analytics. Okay, SQL. For data engineering, you will know runs, data ingestion, visual things. Okay, for AML, this is for AML people, not for us. So we would see these things. Okay, so we would cover all of these things as of our course, right? So with that, right, I'll hold the today's session. I'll open the Q session for Q&A. If you have any questions, there is no right question, there is no wrong question. So you ask me a question, I'll answer it.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Anil.
Actually, whatever the context that you have been building, that is really great. So
Thank
straight
you.
away, you're not jumping into the Databricks, and you have been covering the core fundamentals. Then you are taking this one. This is like a very good approach.
Thank you.
But
Thank
what
you.
I sincerely request from my end, uh, this whatever we have been covering up of this one, like Monday to Friday, whatever the concept that we have been doing,
Yeah.
with that one only a small use case we can try to build this one. This if we complete this use case, means that is that week whatever the activities that we have been letting both
Yeah, we will
theoretically
plan
and
a task like that by weekend, Anil.
correct. So that if we complete that one, we will try initially. If we need any handhold, definitely we will come back. Max to max, we will try to cover up with the ChatGPT or the Claude and try
Yeah.
to clear this one, and we will submit the assignments. So
Yes,
that
Anil.
that creates the win-win situation. Both sides, and the satisfactory rate is very high when we try to go with this approach.
Sure, Andy, we will do that, right? Right. Providing task is not a big issue, so I can provide you whatever the things covered for the week, right? Or the previous so far,
Correct.
whatever, right? Let's say we have completed 2 weeks. I'll give you an assignment to cover the entire 2 week sessions. let's say 3 weeks,
Correct.
entire 3 weeks, so that it would be useful. You won't forget anything. Yeah, we'll provide the assignments as well.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions, Andy? Please feel free to ask your question, Andy. Jyoti Garu, you try to ask some question.
And while going through SQL and Python recordings, if we get any doubt, so next session we can ask you, right?
Yes, right. Even those recordings are mine only. So you're right. I'm the one who covered those topics as well in my data analytics classes. So you can ask me, I can cover whatever the topics are.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hello, Gopal. It's the same question
Srinivas,
what
yes,
I
please.
asked in the starting of the yeah. I just want to know the difference between DBT and this Databricks and what is it both? I mean, what's the relation between with this both?
That's right. It's really hard now to cover, right? You have to understand the DBT as well, and you have to understand the core concept to understand the difference first. So that's what it's really hard to cover it in just 2 minutes or 3 minutes. That's what, right? You could, for now, you can think it as, right, Databricks is an end-to-end platform where, right, it would need it for everything, whereas for DBT is like an ETL framework, like your Azure or Informatica, where it will right, where it will not have its own computation. And even for DBT, we have to provide the computation from Databricks, right, wherever possible. So, how to clear that doubt for you? So let's say, right, if you know ADF, Azure Data Factory or kind of things, DBT also similar kind of ETL framework. It's not completely as ADF as well. ADF is also like an end-to-end ETL tool. It's right. It's just a framework where we utilize DBT. It's not an end-to-end tool for us, whereas Databricks is an end-to-end tool only. So you need to understand the fundamental concepts first to make sure you know the difference. So maybe within 3-4 minutes, I think it's really hard for us to discuss those things.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. So one thing you have to see is, right, we will run DBT on Databricks, right? That means Databricks is a platform which can accommodate your DBT as well, right? DBT is like a framework or the technology that we use on top of Databricks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, right. Any other questions, Andy? So as we have a couple of more minutes, Srinivas garu, right? If you know delta live tables or delta lake pipelines here, DLT pipelines, so which is an alternative DBT in Databricks. So it's like in framework. DLT is also like a framework which automates your work, kind of, right? Your jobs and all. DBT is also kind of that, and so that is the one thing. So you have to understand majority of the core concepts for that. So you should know what is jobs, what are workflows. So how does these things will automate those things and all, right? Those, it's a big concept and altogether.
Okay, those topics are we going to cover in this? In this training sessions, or it will be
Delta live tables are covered,
separate?
right? Delta live tables, which is base of
Okay.
Databricks. DBT is an alternative to that. So in which ways, right now, right, majority of people are going with delta live tables because that is inbuilt feature in Databricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Those sessions are all together, or
Yeah.
we are not going to cover in this training sessions, is there?
Yeah. So with